Today, we are going to have a first look at combat in my own TTRPG, Keeps and Monsters. Today, here on Dungeon Design. So here we are, it's 2023, the year Wizards of the Coast tried the old bait and switch to enslave third-party content creators to give up all creative rights to Wizards of the Coast. This is the year also Wizards of the Coast told a large group of people, your kind ain't wanted around here. Did they know Matt Mercer and Chris Pine is part of that same group? Anyways, I'm done. If they want me gone, I will happily see my way to the door. Why they must demoralize and label an entire community of people is beyond me. I accept everyone and anyone. The world is more beautiful with a spectrum of colors. I say come one, come all. Okay, so enough of that. Why waste time on the negativity? Let's talk about the creativity, TTRPG style. So, my TTRPG welcomes everyone. So welcome to my TTRPG world called, drumroll, Keeps and Monsters. Keeps and Monsters is a Danse Macabre, sword-in-hand, grimdark world filled with gritty, realistic combats in the green, glowing, alchemical, lamp-lit, macabre world of Keeps and Monsters. Yeah, welcome. Life is cheap in Keeps and Monsters, and so is your soul sheep. Try saying that 10 times fast. The world of Keeps and Monsters is placed in a fantasy setting of mad scientists, cryptids, plague doctors, alchemists, duelists, courtesans, occultists, and so much more. I was inspired by H.P. Lovecraft, Bram Stoker's Mary Shelley, Alexander Dumas, Jules Verne, the memoirs of Giacomo Casanova, the numerous books on dueling and the occult, alchemy, cryptids, history, and believe it or not, NES games like Ghouls and Ghosts and more. Welcome to Keeps and Monsters. This has been the thing that I've wanted to create for so long, and a lot of my games kind of took shape in this, but finally I made a rule set that I could use for my own TTRPG. So just a bit of backstory on my game Keeps and Monsters and what prompted and influenced my unique combat system in the game. So, first of all, I am a Kenjutsu instructor and historical European martial artist. In short, swordplay has been one of the things I have done for most of my existence, and in the future I actually may dedicate a channel just to that. But needless to say, I know a lot about sword combat, and I'm pretty good at it. So I decided to design this game intentionally to reflect that and, historical swordplay. Swordplay in my game has far less damage rolling and hits than most other TTRPGs. But when a hit is achieved, it's often quite deadly. The mechanics of this I'm keeping under my hat for now, so sorry about that. But here is a list of things and effects in my combat that you'll experience in the gameplay. So, here we go. Maiming, loss of limb, bleed out times, first aid, mortal wounds, unconsciousness, weapons designed specifically to break other weapons and armor. Some weapons work better versus different armor types and monster types. Called attacks. Everything in my game has a simple weapon stat as well. Anything in a room. That's right. If you're in my game, if you pick up a cup, the GM, or in my case the KM, won't need to look up any stats for that cup. He will instinctively know exactly what the stats are for that cup you're using in combat. The design of my combats is meant to feel more like a realistic fight. Movement becomes a chess game to benefit your character's strength or exploit your opponent's weaknesses. This creates fast and deadly combat encounters that can result in victory, death, or simultaneous death or unconsciousness. So moving on now to health, or hit points as you would know them. Health points in Keeps in Monsters is pretty simple. Every humanoid has the same hit points, or health points, as a result based on what I call blood volume. Because let's face it, if anyone gets stabbed in the heart, will probably not survive that type of wound. I don't care if you're Conan the Barbarian or Tiny Tim. Everyone dies equally with that sort of stab wound to the heart. So there will be no first level fighters with only 10 hit points versus a 16th level fighter with 90 hit points. This means that a veteran character can duel a beginning level character and both have a near equal chance of victory. That is, if learned skills of the veteran are not utilized. But even then, a lucky shot can happen, and you could, as a new character, by luck, kill a powerful foe as easily as he could kill you. So, Matt Mercer and other GMs out there, I have finally perfected the problem of leveling. There are no levels in my game, aside from a 3-tiered system. Everyone dies the same way in my game. The only difference is armor, might, finesse, and your health score, and magical defenses to prevent that death. Blood volume. Humanoids have the same health in Keeps in Monsters, but larger monsters like giants, dragons, etc., or smaller monsters, have a different classification. Again, it's based on blood volume. If a monster is 3 times taller than an average humanoid, then it has 3 times the amount of blood, so therefore 3 times the amount of health. Again, it's based on blood volume. If a monster is 3 times taller than an average humanoid, with 3 times the blood volume, you just simply multiply by 3 to figure out that enemy's health points. Monster HP becomes instinctive in Keeps in Monsters for the GM or the KM, aka the Keep Maestro in my game. Weapon-specific combat. Armored combat with weapons has always been a nightmare for games like D&D and other TTRPGs. They never really felt realistic. Lindy Beige, Professor Dungeon Master, and the HEMA community and others out on the YouTube channels have often talked about this issue. Well, I found a solution, and it's good enough that I copyrighted it the same day I invented it. So the question I asked first was, question 1, does a sword stab to the heart do the same damage as a dagger to the heart? Yes, for the most part. Both result in death, and very little difference can be made between the two. So why do weapons in other TTRPGs do different damage, like 1 dice 4 or 1 dice 10? Doesn't make sense. Question 2. If a knight in armor gets hit in the armor with a long sword swing, chances are he will be fine. But place a dagger into that eye slit and his days are over. Question number 3. Smashing in blunt force trauma. How does that equate to armor? Question number 4. Why can't a character use what's in the room as a weapon? Why can't in the middle of the gameplay someone pick up a chair or a cup and use that as a weapon? Everything will need to have a stat. I figured out a solution for that. Question 5. Fighting in the grapple. Why can't grappling and shunting, as we call it, be part of armed combat? Similar to what we said above with the knight grappling with someone with a knife. Can that person grapple and slip a dagger into the knight's visor? I think so. I believe I figured out how to do all of the above with a simple rules system that is less complex than, say, a system like Dungeons & Dragons. Now, I must beg your forgiveness here. I can't release the system yet. But as soon as the first book hits print or a PDF is made, I will explain it in more detail there with a live playtest here on this channel. For now, it's kind of top secret though, because we don't want Twatc and others to come along and take the ideas and run with it. By the way, I already copyrighted the idea because we think that it's honestly that good. So we'll see how it goes. On a side note, I also wanted to dedicate this game to all third-party content creators and artists out there, and artist rights as well. Here is a list of people I follow here on YouTube I think help inspire me to create Keeps and Monsters. You are all the coolest community I have ever been a part of, and I salute you. You inspired me to create and embrace my dreams, so thank you. So, to sum up our first look at Keeps and Monsters, I basically wish to create a very fast, instinctive feeling to the rules set. And this is what just a couple of people that have play tested it have said. It's unlike anything I have seen to date. The speed is incredible, and the danger feels real. Combats are not always the best option, and like in real life, casualties are common. You really have to think about what you're doing in Keeps and Monsters. That's what made it so fun." End quote. Another friend of mine said, "Wow, that's a great game mechanic. Groundbreaking and brilliant." So that's just a small taste of what basically a couple of my friends in my little community here have said about playtesting my TTRPG called Keeps and Monsters. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this little sneak peek we made, and until next time, the adventure continues, and keep your eye out for Keeps and Monsters. If you have any suggestions, let us know down in the comments below. So until next time, the adventure continues here on Keeps and Monsters. Wait a minute, on Dungeon Design. Take care.